It's always good to speak with USA Today's Nancy Armour, who's reporting, along with colleague Rachael Denhollander, lays out the case for Kerry Perry's firing. There they have their piece in today's product. Nancy, welcome. How would you describe Kerry Perry as it turned out to be, just a 9-month tenure at the head of this federation?
A train wreck. It's been complete chaos, and it's hard to say or hard to believe that the organization could be in a worse position than it was a year ago. And unfortunately, that's the case. There has been no tangible action that shows that this organization is any closer to getting it.
What was your largest error, do you believe?
I think there were two. I think the first is not reaching out enough to the survivors, not conveying enough the apology and the sympathy for what these women went through. That, I get that there were legal ramifications, but you need to find a way to do it because people don't. There still is a belief that USA Gymnastics is not sorry or has not recognized the pain and trauma these women have gone through. And then just her complete and utter lack of preparation in front of the congressional hearings was. Those performances were really, frankly, embarrassing. There were questions that she should have been able to answer. It wasn't a secret, some of the things that she was going to be asked, and yet she showed up and just looked woefully unprepared. Well,
correct me if I'm wrong. The entire board of directors of this federation, USA Gymnastics, was changed out, right, before she was even hired. So they had, they essentially hired her. So we're back we're not even close to square one here and trying to figure things out.
No, and the Deborah Daniels report made 70 recommendations, and only 47% of those have been fully implemented. Another 47% are either ongoing or in the process. But we're a full year after that report was released. We're 2 years after Rachael went public with her story of abuse by Dr. Nassar. At some point, you have to begin to move forward, and this organization is just, its wheels are stuck in the mud.
I'm going to ask a very insensitive question, but what is the state of this sport internationally competitively, in light of what's happening internally here?
Well, and that's the issue that gets lost. There's 2 years until the Tokyo Olympics, and the American women are still very, very strong. And yet these young women who their entire focus should be on athletics and competing, and yet every event that they go to, they're asked about this. They're asked what they think the federation should be doing. They're asked what they think about the job that Kerry Perry was doing. That was the question all of them were being asked at the national championships last month. That's not a fair position to put them in, and the organization allowed that to happen too. So it's really just mishandled it in pretty much any instance it could.
About 15 seconds. Biggest priority for her successor would be what?
I would say make inroads or make sincere and visible public reach out to the survivors. That is the number one thing. These are the women who have been damaged and hurt the most. These are the women who can help move the organization forward. They have to be on board, and they have to believe the organization is sincere.
Be visible and be sincere. Nancy Armour, USA Today, always great to speak with you. Thanks so much. Now joining me on the phone, let's say hello to Rachael Denhollander, the original witness and whistleblower in the Larry Nassar scandal. Rachael, when you heard that Kerry Perry essentially had been forced out late last night, what was your reaction?
I think it's a good step, but my reaction really is too little too late because there is so much more that USAG and the USOC needed to be doing 2 years ago that they are still steadfastly refusing to do. And it's leaving USAG in a position where their athletes are at risk, their athletes are not getting the support that they need, and the sexual assault survivors are not able to move forward either.
We've talked a lot about gymnastics. You know John Manley. He's an attorney. I believe he actually has represented you and many other survivors. Yes, he has a dog in this fight, and it's financial. But what he says bears listening to, talking about in the wake of the firing of Kerry Perry. USOC leadership sat on its collective hands for more than a year while Ms. Perry assembled a board, which has remained silent while she continued to disrespect some of our nation's most gifted athletes and treat survivors of sexual abuse as adversaries. Sadly, the culture of abuse, which is rampant in USA Gymnastics, is rampant throughout the Olympic governing bodies, end quote. And there have been other allegations in other federations. Is the USOC, do you believe, in a position to lead on this issue?
No, I don't think they are because they have completely lost credibility themselves. The USOC for the last 2 years has done nothing other than issue empty threats. And I think that we need to answer the question why. And one of those dynamics that we don't have answers to is what the USOC did after they received reports of Larry's abuse in 2015.
Do you have confidence they can get this right?
Absolutely not, because they haven't recognized what they got wrong. The fact that they could know in 2015 that Larry was accused of sexually abusing Olympic athletes and did absolutely nothing, and then allowed USAG to continue down this chaotic path for the last couple of years, doing absolutely nothing. We need an investigation into the USOC at this point, too.
When there was the house cleaning at gymnastics, nothing happened. What gives you confidence that even an investigation would bring the change?
Well, and outside an independent investigation to identify the people that enabled, the people that created these cultures of abuse, so that we can, essentially cut those people loose and replace them with members and directors who are going to actually lead and do the right thing, who are going to be accountable, who are going to protect our athletes, protect the children in these programs. Until we can replace the people that were problematic with people that are going to do the right thing, regardless of what the cost is, we're never going to be moving forward.
It continues to be an issue. Rachael Denhollander, and congratulations to you and your family on the birth of your baby, the baby girl, and all the best. Thank you for joining us.